Nearly 4.5 million Americans live in ambulance deserts. In a medical crisis, they have to wait as long as 25 minutes or more for an emergency medical crisis. Is 25 minutes a lot? Welcome back to Under Oath. Topic we're dealing with: emergency help delays and shortages leading to death. A few months ago, our producer had to call 911 after finding two young girls left outside. I remember that
story.
She called them 4 times and waited without anyone picking up.
Outrageous.
4 times I called 911.
911 4 times. They had no idea what was going on. What should we be able to do if you call 911 and they don't answer?
Nothing.
Should there be something?
What are you going to do? Sue?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to make it something that you can sue for. There'd have to be a law.
Okay.
That lets you sue the government for not, I guess what?
She said there was a house fire down the road and operators were busy. Well, I think once the first call on the house fire, they go, yeah, we know that. Do you actually have to stay on the line with 14 people on one house fire? Hey, man, the house on fire. Yeah, we're on
try
that.
to get off of the phone with these 911 people. I listened to Kid Rock on radio one time, and
you already lost my respect. You already lost my respect.
He was reporting somebody had died on his property.
Kid Rock.
Somebody died on his property. One of the groundskeepers or something, like a 3-wheeler or a 4-wheeler flipped, and the guy's dead.
Yeah, don't do 4-wheelers.
Underneath the 4-wheeler. And he's calling, and he's like, there's, we have somebody here. He's dead. Can you send somebody? And they're like, can you go up to him and check? He goes, no, I'm not going to.
Well, they have to decide.
I'm not going to go up and check. He's dead. Trust me, I can see him. There's blood everywhere.
He's missing a head.
Dead. He's not breathing.
He's missing a head.
Trust me, when you see the body, you'll know he's dead.
Would you trust Chris Rock?
You need to go and get closer to the body. He's like, listen, are you guys sending somebody or not?
No.
Like, I don't want to have a debate with you on whether or not this. I'm calling 911. Send somebody right the F now. That's what he said.
Okay.
If the person calling doesn't want to be involved other than to report the issue, let them go.
We have been taught from a young age to call 911. What if it's not true? You call 911, no one answers. Or they promise to send an ambulance and they don't.
Oh, well, that's bad.
Well, as lawyers, discuss.
All right, so you got the Good Samaritan rule at issue here. So if I'm taking the time to call 911, I've now injected myself into the situation, and I have to do it in a reasonable way.
And I have to follow through. I can't leave,
That's
or I
correct.
can be sued.
Other people see me on the phone, they're going to assume, especially if I yell out, hey, I'm calling 911, or it's obvious that I'm calling 911.
You got this? You have to.
Now everybody thinks that I got this. So now I have to have it, even if I didn't intend to, quote, have it. So, yeah, you call 911, you secure somebody on their way, and you probably need to wait till they get there. It's probably not enough to call 911 and then leave.
They don't come.
Yeah.
They don't come.
Yeah.
We got in a car accident on the way from the Morgan Wallen concert. We took a bunch of people. I had my country day with my people. I had my rock day, and I had my disco day. I had 3 straight days of satisfying everybody.
What does it say that you only got into an accident on the country day?
So, I don't know.
That's a country song.
We get in an accident. She causes the accident. And I don't want to say to her, you just hit 2 personal injury attorneys and then 3 paralegals. I mean, I want you to know something. And we absolutely knew what to do.
That would have been funny.
Yeah. So we pull over. She leaves the scene. We're in the car.
I didn't hear this part.
Yeah. Jonathan.
She left the scene?
Jonathan calls and says, and they go, is it deadly? Is anybody hurt? No. They go, well, we don't know if somebody's going to come out. We don't know if somebody's going to make it. But you can wait there. 2.5 hours later, still nobody. And nobody ever came out.
All right, that was kind of on you guys.
Okay. Point is this. I think what happens is we don't have the money anymore. We don't have the money to pay enough people to man the phones. And we definitely do not have enough money to pay for police officers to come out on every 911 call or EMTs. Because, with fire, when there's a fire or an accident, they have to send the ambulance out, even if nobody was hurt. So now you've eaten up an ambulance for every car accident or every fire. So now they're sitting here going, okay, what's going on here? Now, the case we're looking at right now, it's a case in England where guy calls, he's having a heart condition. 8 hours later, an ambulance shows up. He would have had a 95% chance of surviving.
But at some point, if I'm calling the ambulance and they're not there in 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to drive myself to the hospital.
You laying on the ground having a heart attack. You're not driving anything.
I'll have somebody drive me.
No.
At least try.
The problem is this. I think there's a duty. And for people who don't know, every civil case works on basically 3 levels. First off, was there a duty to do something? Either you did it badly or you didn't do it at all. Second is, because you failed in that duty, did that cause me my damages? And the third one are damages, meaning, for example, I died, I got hurt, there's money attached, so many different things. So you need all 3 of those things. You need negligence, causation, and damages. Now, in this case, so we'll break this down for everybody.
The ambulance has a duty to respond.
They were negligent
when
they
you
were negligent.
are called.
They were negligent by
agree?
not doing the job. Yes.
Okay.
So then we have negligence. Okay. He died, which is damages. Now, do you have causation? Can they guarantee he would have died, but for the ambulance not showing up in time?
They don't have to guarantee that he would have died. They
But
just
for.
have to show.
But for.
They just have to
But
show
for.
that it is more likely than not
Nope.
that but for the negligence.
Stop it.
This is the point
Stop
that
it.
I
We just had a jury.
I know.
No, we failed. We lost.
This is unbelievable.
We lost the case
This is
on
unbelievable.
it. We lost the case on it because juries cannot
This
understand
jury
that.
instruction is exactly the way I told the judge to do it. He came back and he did it exactly the way I
But
told him to do it.
it doesn't matter. We lost because juries can't understand that but for isn't an absolute.
I don't care.
I do.
You still have to correctly state the state of law. The state of the law is, yes, it's true. The jury needs to come to the conclusion that but for the negligence, the injury wouldn't have occurred.
But we lost.
All right. That is true. But that only needs to be true to the extent that it's the greater weight of evidence shows that to be true.
Did they understand?
It doesn't have to be absolutely true.
Did they understand it?
I don't think they did.
No, I know they didn't. That's the whole point. In this scenario, you're talking about a situation where if this ambulance would have showed up on time, would the guy live more? Or even if you want to say more likely than not. But that's a 50% test, which I think is nonsense. It's not.
That's the civil standard.
Okay, but
That's all you have to
jury's
prove.
going to think what they think. And the fact is this, they're going to go, how quick did he die? Well, he died in 20 minutes. Then 8 hours wouldn't have changed the price of tea in China.
But he didn't die in 20 minutes.
We don't know what he died. That's a fact we don't have. So if you're going to,
I thought he got to the hospital and he died at the hospital.
No.
Is that not true?
He needed a stent. Doctors say he would have a 95% chance of firing. Didn't say how long. Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's a fact. Here's the fact. So when you want to write something in the comments, nearly 4.5 million Americans live in ambulance deserts. In a medical crisis, they have to wait as long as 25 minutes or more for an emergency medical. Is 25 minutes a lot? I can't get to 7-Eleven in 25.
If you're having a stroke, probably 25 minutes.
I'm sure it's a lot when you're dying.
If you're not breathing for 25 minutes, that seems like a long time.
But is it reasonable that somebody could be at your place on top of you within 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think that is how it should go.
Doesn't it also depend on where the ambulance is located?
Sure.
Is there an ambulance located within 5 miles of everybody?
At all times? I don't know. Should there be?
They call it ambulance deserts. Well,
whose job is it? Whose duty is it to make sure that there are plenty of ambulances in a particular city?
Taxes.
Are you guessing?
No, city. City is in charge of their own ambulances. It's not a private company. Firefighters. That's government.
No, firefighters.
That's EMTs are fire. Ambulance crews. EMTs are ambulance
crews. Private ambulance companies.
Different than EMTs.
How do the private ambulance companies get in on the action? Like when you call 911, when you call 911, is the 911 operator going, let me, I owe this guy, Uncle Ted, I'm related to him, so I'm going to have Uncle Ted's ambulance service come.
Oh, Chef Boyardee is running them. I don't know. The fact is this, that it's impossible for you to live within 5 miles of a fire department, and no matter where you're at. And unless you're going 60 miles an hour consistently, best case scenario, you get there in 8 minutes.
That's why I think there should be a law. Like, listen, you can't operate an ambulance company in this county, this state, this city, whatever, unless you can be to every address within 18 minutes.
I swear to God.
If you can't be to every single address, then you're not allowed to operate your ambulance company in our city, county, town.
You
whatever.
sound like Domino's. The delivery date. You have 10 minutes or it's free.
These guys deliver pizzas for $7.99. You think we
not
can get,
anymore?
You think we can get somebody to save a life?
No.
I guess
that deal's
I guess
gone
it's
now.
more important to get a $12 pizza.
There is no delivery date. You know why there are no delivery dates anymore? Not only because they couldn't guarantee it, because it causes accidents.
You know what you could do?
Put Domino's in charge of being
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you have a heart attack, call Domino's.
You think I'm going to trust the guy who delivers my pizza to cut me open?
They'll be there in 10, 15 minutes and get you to the hospital. You know what? Deliver a pizza to the emergency surgeons at your hospital and have Domino's pick you up on the way. I am a genius.
Okay. Fact is this. In conclusion, it's going to work out like this. They're going to decide if that period of time was the cause of his death. Not that of course, they're negligent when they don't show up after 8 hours. Of course, he died. But causation is going to be the middle part of that. And they're going to have to show that if he would have received proper attention, he probably would have lived. Now, you're also going to get those juries who might not understand it's not an absolute. The but-for is not an absolute test.
Right. So if you're a defense attorney
need to prepare.
And you're trying to muck up the water, you say, he was having a heart attack already. He was already having a heart attack. The ambulance not showing up didn't cause the heart attack. The heart attack killed him.
Well, now you know you can now skip the first half year of law school.